Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another special episode of Herschel Talkers. Belated, long, couldn't get Sean motivated, National Signing Day edition. But we got him back better than ever. Sean, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. How are you?
He's doing great. Got him a big old mac and cheese in the water here. He's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, first off, Sean, we wanted to, I know you are not happy at how the season ended on the offense, but got rid of James Coley, and we got a great pickup, Todd Monken. We hope. Great pickup, Todd Monken. Am I saying his name right? Yeah, I am. Hey, first off, 2018, he was offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number one passing offense, which is impressive. Previously, he was Oklahoma State offensive coordinator. I believe they have a couple of top five total offensive finishes. Also, head coach at Southern Miss turned that program around from 0 wins to, I think they were 9-5. And I think they're a top 30, top 20 offense. Anyway, thoughts on the Todd Monken hire?
Probably the most pleasant surprise of, I guess, the recruiting cycle was getting him along with, Buster Davis? Is that his name?
Buster Faulkner. Also got a Buster Faulkner story coming up, but anyway, go ahead.
I think anybody who wasn't blind, deaf, and dumb, the biggest weakness on this team was the offense. It was antiquated, and just generally speaking, ineffective. I think a lot of people were hoping that maybe the best we could get for was maybe a quarterback coach, and that we'd probably keep the, run first offense. But I think Kirby really kind of exceeded expectations, which he's had a tendency to do, and kind of getting a, kind of a spread guru, for lack of a better term, in there that can, I think, open up the scheme, take advantage of the talent we've got at wide receiver, and kind of to elevate the offense where it really needs to be to win. That's kind of really what the name of the game is now. It's I think the key thing is really how explosive your offense can be, whether it's at college or the NFL. Just kind of a different era in football than what we're used to. But that's kind of what you're going to need to win. And then having a great defense just, I think, solidifies it.
Yeah, I think really overall great hire. He's got a great previous statistical offenses have been great. Here's the question, though. Do you think actually Kirby is going to actually take his hands off and give the keys to the car, as they say, to Monken and Buster Faulkner? Or do you think he's going to have his hands in the offense? You're going to see more conservative at times, or do you actually think he's going to give the keys to the kingdom, as they say?
I think he's going to give the keys to the kingdom. This whole mindset or mantra that, it's really Kirby's offense. I think at best that's always been a quote-unquote theory, right? There's really been no definitive proof. No, assistant coach has ever come out and said, hey, he doesn't really, or he interferes too much with play calling. If you're bringing this guy in, clearly he had other options as well. I'd imagine at the NFL level he could have picked up a position there. He's got to feel pretty confident about coming into Georgia and being able to run the scheme. Kirby made two really kind of strong hires here, right? So the thing is that we really don't have any reason to think that he's not going to let him do what he wants to. The guy's resume speaks for itself. I think when you tend to kind of see a guy that's, still handle the kid's glove, he's probably maybe a new play caller, maybe it's a new system, maybe he's younger, right? None of that really seems to apply. Plus, I think, Kirby, is able to kind of look at LSU and Coach O, right? I think before...
Blueprint.
Yeah, well, and before this year, right, was anybody really going to say that Coach O was a better coach than Kirby Smart? And I think the answer was probably not, right?
Yeah.
But Coach O's the one who ended the year with a national title, and it's because he
beat Dabo Sweeney. He beat Nick Saban.
He beat Auburn.
He beat Auburn. He beat Georgia.
He put everybody, and they beat everybody in convincing fashion.
A couple of years ago, you're coming off losing to Troy at home in a night game. They want to fire him to turn it around and being, great.
Yeah. So I think Kirby just can look at that and say, well, shoot, if he can do it by just turning over the offense to somebody and opening it up. Why can't I?
Exactly. Yeah, piggybacking off that, so I know earlier we talked, good win over Baylor. Matt Luke hire was big, and we'll get into that. He kept pretty much all his offensive linemen was big. So looking at the grand scheme of things and this coaching staff, Matt Luke, ex-Ole Miss coach, so you have head coaching experience there. You have Todd Monken, head coaching experience previously. I know it's Southern Miss lower level, but
and
still.
Quality play calling experience.
Exactly. Buster Faulkner, looking on him, he's coming in as an offensive control system. I think he's going to get a bump in pay.
He's probably going to be the quarterback coach because there's that opening now. I think Scott Fountain leaving.
Yeah. Previously, Middle Tennessee State, I think he had quarterback player of the year. He turned in.
There's Arkansas State.
Arkansas State put top 10 numbers, so yeah, great hire. Here's a little story with me because I love it. All right, so I had a cup of coffee with Valdosta State in 2000, 2001. Previous story is Kirby Smart looked at my film on VHS. I saw how old it is. But as I was a walk-on there at Valdosta State, 2000, I went on there. There's probably 8 quarterbacks. Chris Hatcher, who was head coach at the time, loved pretty much the air raid back then, spreading it around. Little known fact, I was on there with 8. I was probably one of the 8 quarterbacks. Buster Faulkner was actually on the team at the same time.
Wow.
Later led him to, I think, actually a national title and like all these accolades and awards at Valdosta State. Kirby Smart was at Valdosta State, so it's all kind of coming together. So anyway,
let's see.
Buster probably couldn't pick me out of the lineup, but I was actually on the team at the time. Neither could Kirby Smart. Also, Kirby Smart coming and visiting Duke Mansion in Charlotte Monday. Big T here's going to make hopefully a little meet and greet, get a little picture with the man, Kirby Smart. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I like that all the head coaching hires great. Sean's loving it. Also want to transition into this. Thoughts on, because we haven't had one in a while, thoughts on Jake Fromm leaving early for the draft, and then also second to that, us picking up Jamie Newman, Wake Forest transfer, which is huge, 6'4", 230, had great numbers at Wake Forest, and dual threat, 500 or 600 yards, so it gives you that extra weapon. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I guess to address those...
or Jake Fromm,
yeah. Jake Fromm, I mean, I'm not all that surprised when, his initial grades were coming out second round. And they pretty much stayed consistently at that level. The smart money's to go. You know what I mean? That's just a lot of money to turn up. So I wasn't all that surprised. I'm kind of surprised that, he was hoeing and humming it as much as he seemed to be. Again, because it's a lot of money. I mean, he's going to get, his contract will be a couple million at least, right? Mm. I mean, yeah. I mean, and there's no guarantee that, you get that if you come back.
Who do you think he ever plays, though, honestly? I think he's going to be a career backup. I mean, Murray never played. I mean, Murray's struggling with the XFL.
Yeah, I heard somebody say the other day, and it made some sense, that maybe if you got him in the right offense, right?
I think he's a career backup, but the way there's a lot of injuries in the NFL, maybe he could get a little playing time. I'm hoping best for him. I'll pull for him, but...
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Like, hey, look at it this way. Career backup, like, not taking a lot of shots, getting pretty good, getting great pay, saves you money. I mean,
yeah.
He's probably a smart kid, finishes his degree, So, hey, good for him. But rolling over Jamie Newman, I think a lot of people, I think they were saying there were 20, 30 guys in the portal that Kirby said they were looking at. Picked him up right away, 6'4", probably one of the best option reads you've ever seen on there. He read that guy for 4 to 5 yards and he'd pull it.
Yeah.
So, I like him, 6'4", 230, said good kid, 26 touchdowns, 11 picks. Wake Forest, you'll have definitely better athletes around you, better talent. So,
yeah, the guy was productive, and, he was productive at Wake Forest. So, your natural inclination is to think, hey, you improve the caliber of offensive talent around him, probably his production's going to increase. If nothing else, I think what he gives you is kind of a nice bridge, right? Even presuming he's not necessarily good enough to really lead you throughout the entire year, he's probably at least kind of can bridge that time period while the freshman we have kind of learns the offense some more.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's a great pickup. I think they were expecting to go the transfer portal route. And then, you got Carson Beck, 4-star coming in, and you don't really know what you got with him. I mean, it looks like he has a tool, but it's still a true freshman. So, yeah, great pickup. Very excited. He's actually there on campus already going through workouts, which is huge. I think Kirby really wanted to do that. So, yeah, great pickup. Transition in. I know we lost Coley. A lot of people were like, hey, good riddance. But thoughts on, James Coley pretty much, I think, quietly getting let go, and then him moving. I think he probably lost money salary-wise, and he's basically tight end coach with his friend Jimbo Fisher, who was after him from the start. So thoughts on that? I mean, what are we losing? Seems like a good dude, though.
It does, and I'll say, it's definitely going to hurt South Florida recruiting. I mean, he was dominant down there. You look at the guys we got out of there, Tyson Campbell, Stevenson, some of the other good athletes. So, I mean, clearly, and then the other thing, too, is Scott Fountain was pretty big in Florida, too. So hopefully the guys that we replaced him with, they're going to be...
What would you like to see with that other spot? I know it's kind of quiet. It seems like Kirby on these, kind of smaller ones, you'll just name them later. Where would you like to see them go? I mean, I know it's an open spot, but what do you think we could use? Like a true special teams coach, or what would you think?
Quarterback coach. To me,
you might as well Faulkner. Maybe just bump him up, but you still have a body you could put in there. Is what I'm saying.
Make it Faulkner. Make him the quarterback coach. You know what I mean? I don't know why you're.
Yeah. Because from what I read, I think Faulkner's getting $350 at Southern Miss, and he's only getting $150 for this quality control. Unless he I think there's a reason why he came. I doubt he would take the bump or decrease in pay unless he knew something right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, jumping over into things. So the 2020 National Signing Day, I guess this is traditional, is in the books. Georgia ends up #1 recruiting class. Always great. Heavyweight.
They're going 247?
Yeah, you knew that.
Wow, I didn't realize we passed Clemson. That's crazy.
And Bama. Actually, Bama finished 2. Clemson 1. So 25 commits. There it is. So we were at 313 points and 34. Alabama was a close second at 310. I think Alabama, if they would have got McKinley Jackson, they would have passed us. So they said.
Well, we would have smoked them though if we'd held on to Evans.
And Zach Evans, the head case. They still don't know where that kid went. Number 3, Clemson at 309.73. They kind of didn't move at all. They did have 5 5-stars. What? 5 5-stars. LSU 4. And Ohio State 5, we'll go over that. Actually, I think it was 7 SEC teams in the top 10. So, Sean, thoughts on the Georgia team? And I want to come out with you a question. How would you relate this to the other Kirby Smart classes? And is this the best because this is the second #1 overall class?
It's neat and it's impressive.
How would you compare it to the other ones? Is this better than that? What was it? 2018 was the #1 class?
Yeah. Well, here's what's interesting about that class. When you look back, I don't know how many 5-stars we had. I think maybe we only finished with one of those guys. So.
Yeah, a lot of transition.
Yeah, Isaiah Wilson. Isaiah Wilson was the year before, I guess. You go back and look at that. No, it's a good class. I feel like Jalen Carter kind of addresses a big need. I'm still not completely sold on our defensive line recruiting. It seems like we've got...
2018 we were #1.
Yeah. I'm still not completely sold on what our defensive line recruiting is at. It seems like we're getting 3 or 4 bodies every year, but you better hope that they all pan out. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Actually, 3 of those 5-stars are not on the team anymore. You lost Fields, Cade Mays, who transferred to Tennessee. Don't even want to go there. And Brenton Cox, who's with Florida now. So you still have Adam Anderson, Tyson Campbell, Salyer, and Zamir White. Just to let you know, for 2018.
Right, and Zamir White was hurt.
Yeah, anyway.
So, I think it's a good class. I think we addressed... I felt like we addressed our needs. We definitely needed a running back. We could have had the top 2 running backs. I think stepping away from Rashad Evans was a good call. I don't really think there's anything that we walk away with saying, damn.
Zach Evans? What'd you call him, Rashad?
Rashad Evans, yeah, sorry. Zach Evans. Right. I like the fact that we got 2 big-name offensive tackles.
And we kept SVP, Cedric Van Pran, Granger, whatever, Pran, and then the Broderick Jones, everybody was sweating it. But Kirby's staying there. You got to give it to him. He's a closer. Staying there till 12 o'clock on a Friday night. Didn't take that visit. He locked that kid in, right? So how about this? Who do you think out of this class plays right away? Maybe if you had to put one or two who makes the biggest impact right away, like right out the start, like in September.
I think Tate Rutledge. I think that's a great candidate to start there at left tackle. I mean, the thing is, we lost a bunch on the offensive line. I mean, you're going to need a left tackle.
Think he plays before Jones, or who plays right away?
Well, the thing with me with Jones is, I just like Rutledge's film a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like,
Heard he's a mauler too, right?
Yeah.
Like Cade Mays mauler, or like that? Is that what?
I mean, Cade Mays to me always kind of looked like he was a right tackle, kind of more of a run blocker. Tate Rutledge to me looks like he can pass block, right? I mean, that's to me what I'm looking at.
I think he's a guard or a tackle.
I think he's a tackle, obviously.
Okay. All right.
And then
Jeez. Getting on
I don't know. It seems like Jones is getting beat a little bit in the, and I know it's, those drills tend to favor the defensive lineman or whatever.
So we know it was beat. Or Jalen Carter was whipping him.
Yeah,
that's the kid I'm excited about.
Tate Rutledge was owning that kid from Clemson, the defensive tackle, Bryce or Brandon Bryce or whatever it is.
Sorry, Suki's getting in it on there, man.
Yeah,
there he is. So the really big need was we just loaded up at wide receiver. Who do you think coming out of this is going to be your maybe play right away with Pickens? If Blaylock's not ready, he's going to be maybe your number 2, number 3 wideout.
See, that's what's tough is that it doesn't really seem like, historically speaking. Well, I mean, this past year was the first year it seemed like we really got a lot of production of freshman wide receivers. Probably that freshman out of California that we flipped over from
Jermaine Burton.
Yeah,
I think. He's been compared to like a Jarvis Landry type, which is I'd take him.
Yeah.
Been hearing really things about Arian Smith, Blazer. Hopefully he can catch like another McCole Hardman. Where he runs like a 10-3.
Or maybe like I was thinking of Justin Scott Wesley.
Oh wow.
Well, I mean, but the thing is,
played though. Any bad knees?
Well, but like the thing is he set all those track records in high school, right? I mean, when he was out there and could play, he's pretty damn good.
He was.
I could hardly believe it.
Oh, he's got that on. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and go with my dark horse. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out there just because I'm excited about him. I think the dark horse of the class, and he's gonna be late edition Ladd McConkle. His great white height could be Bennett with wheels. Michael Bennett, 6 foot 175, did it all. Played DB, kick returner, wide out. You saw him, runs a 4.5. Yeah. I'm excited about him. He can play right away. There's 5 of them. He was a late addition.
Well, what's interesting to me, too, is that I kind of feel like here's another reason why I'm thinking Kirby is going to give some deference to Monken is that, remember, we had that Blazer out of New Orleans that was committed, and then it seemed like we backed off, right? Mm-hmm. It seemed like we were saying, all right, we're only going to get an X number of wide receivers. Then all of a sudden you pick up Ladd McConkle at the end.
Yeah.
It seems to me like maybe you're adjusting your recruiting some.
So overall, how about this? If you had to be negative, I know the whole Zach Evans thing maybe didn't handle it the best. Maybe it's the head case. If you would have said if there was like a couple of whiffs or somebody, another thing that Rusty, when I was listening to 247 class, we only got, even though we did nationally really great, but we only got 2 out of the top 10 InState guys. And do you think that we whiffed a little bit on InState, or is there anybody you wish we could have had that we were really after that maybe went somewhere else, or your opinion if you had to pick? Just getting nitpicky.
Well, no, and I can understand that. I mean, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, I guess it depends on where we were evaluation-wise. I mean, when you finish with the number 1 recruiting class, if you couldn't get him in-state, at least we got him nationally. I don't really so much worry about that. I still think our defensive line recruiting, I think defensive line and running back recruiting, although, again, we had the commitment from Evans, it just, I kind of feel like we probably should have done a better job of maybe evaluating this kid's behavior.
Tank Bigsby called
I think
right?
Tank Bisbee is the one we're going to look back and say, shit, we should have gotten him instead.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect to that kid, that 4-star we picked up from, way down there in South Georgia. But
that John Edwards.
Yeah.
Runs a 4.7. Sean's not big on him, but I heard he's good. He's a good ball guy. I heard he's in the game he plays well, and he did well against good talent.
Yeah.
Won a bunch of bombs, right?
Right.
I think Kendall Milton looking more and more is going to be, hate to call him a poor man's Derrick Henry. I mean, 6'2", 215. He's long. I think he's 230 now. Seems like a good kid. He's always all dog.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what do you? So I guess the most highest rated guy. Do you think he might play right away? What are you excited about the Kylie Ringo? I mean, he ended up being bumped up 247, number 4 overall player. Pretty damn good.
Yeah,
you think he plays right away, or you think you throw him in the system? Or
I would say probably, and maybe on just about any other team in the country, he's got a real. And yeah, I guess even on ours, he's got a real shot to play right away. But that defensive backfield's pretty loaded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, how many 5-stars do we have back there? I know you got Tyson Campbell, you got Tyreek Stevens, you got him now.
You got LeCount coming back his senior year.
LeCount. I mean, you got Lewis Sign.
Do you know a guy who we might miss? And looking back on it, who would you think it was the best overall player? And this name said it, best overall defensive player.
Jake Reed's son.
Yeah, J.R. Reed. We're going to miss that kid, right?
Yeah.
Under the radar good.
Yeah, he really was. And it was kind of interesting.
Hey, hands.
Right. Well, I feel like he was really just kind of icing on the cake to get, D'Angelo Gibbs.
And who ended up getting the better deal in that one, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How about tight end? What's your thoughts on that?
Actually, now that we mentioned that,
go ahead.
I think Darnell Washington's got a legit chance to get playing time right away.
Yeah, man, I think that was actually a good pickup. I think that Trey, is it McKinnell? Pickup from Florida State is going to be under the radar. I mean, Wolf did okay last year. This guy actually looks pretty good. Trey McKitty. I mean, he's 3-starred. I think he's going to be a pretty good pickup with Death. I think with Washington, they got to get him and maybe get like 10 pounds off of him because he looked like he was gassing a little bit in the All-Star game. But just big body. Some people comparing him to like a kind of uncoordinated Gronk, just long. He's one of those.
They thought he's uncoordinated.
No, they just said
bad description.
That was me saying it, but I heard one guy compared him to Gronk because Gronk was like just big body, like not the greatest routes, but just raw, and you just throw it up to him. It's just a ball hog. And he plays basketball, so he's a good athlete, right? Mm-hmm. He's from Vegas.
Yep. Well, it sounds like we got a lot to be excited for this year, Bulldog fans.
Are you trolling?
And we are once again going to tell you goodbye on the latest episode of
Herschel
Faulkner.
Is he calling it a day already? Is he calling it a day already?
Come on, man. This is dragging.
I am. Was trying to get. Hey, all right. One last thing. What did you think about it in the other classes? And it's like Alabama taking a step back. Is Clemson dominating? I know we got the number 1 class.
To me, Clemson. I've said all along. I feel like Clemson kind of hits where you need to hit. They always hit a quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line, and defensive line.
Cherry picking. They get who they want.
Yeah.
How about the fact that SEC are they back on top, dominating again? 7 out of the top 10 for SEC teams.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, Florida had a heck of a.
Actually, I heard they whiffed on the last day. Did you hear they left on like 2 or 3 guys they wish they had?
I don't know, though. They weren't like number 8 by the time going into that day, though, were they?
They do have 1 5-star this year. Should we be worried about them next year?
I mean, yeah, I'd be really worried. I mean, look at that guy. Doesn't he look scary?
I mean, who's their 5-star? Oh, yeah, did you know anything about that Gervin Dexter? Didn't we flirt around him a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, but once again, Trey Scott's like the chubby girl. Chubby girl that's after the
he's good technique,
quarterback boyfriend.
He's a good technique.
That's after the quarterback in high school.
All right. Oh yeah, and I don't know if briefly on this. I don't know if we didn't do a podcast on that. Thoughts on real quick LSU blowing out Clemson in the national title game.
It was about what it was.
You got to think for the ages though. Burrow and Brady and Coach O. You got to give it to them. Great win. Could have almost hung a 50 burger on them.
Yeah, I mean, that they were just a machine, dominant the whole year long. I feel like Clemson's offense, I don't know. It just seems like there were some chinks in the armor all year. I don't know if it was a sophomore slump for Trevor Lawrence, but, we'll see if he bounces back in his junior year. And once again, thanks for the latest episode of the Herschel Talkers.
Sean's ready to get out here. Hey, we'll probably come back in a couple of months for a spring day edition, April 18th. Hey, we're the Herschel Talkers and we're out.